Alright, Odd Socks crew, strap in because today we're bouncing into Moon Patrol. And I mean, we're literally bouncing. This game has more hops than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Now here's a bit of fun trivia for you guys. Moon Patrol first rolled into arcades back in 1982, courtesy of Irem. And it was one of the first games ever to use parallax scrolling. You know, that cool layered effect that made the background feel alive? So in translation, this game invented the space road trip vibes before anyone else was actually doing it. And you're not just cruising some peaceful moon landscape, oh no, you're dodging craters the size of swimming pools, leaping over rocks like an Olympic log jumper, and blasting UFOs who clearly didn't get the memo that space traffic law exists. And when the ground literally explodes under your wheels, yeah, welcome to rush hour. This is the Lunar edition of Moon Patrol. It's part driving test, part shooting gallery, and part please don't flip my buggy into that giant hole. And every second feels like chaos with one wrong move and boom, your moon mission is totally toast. But here's the thing, Moon Patrol is funny hard. The kind of hard that makes you laugh at your own failure, you'll swear at the screen, blame the moon's dodgy rocks, and then hit start again like, alright, one more run. And before you know it, you've been stuck in that same crater zone for 3 goddamn hours. So buckle up, Odd Socks, because today we're taking the Evercade's Moon Patrol for a joyride across craters, lasers, and the pure chaos of space history. As always, we'll be looking at the story, the sound, and the gameplay, and a little later on I'll be letting you guys know my Evercade stats on how long it took me to complete Moon Patrol. But before we do that, let's take a bit of a deep dive at the Irem Arcade 1 collection. The Irem Arcade 1 collection is one of Evercade's standout purple carts, instantly marking it as part of the arcade line rather than the classic red console releases. Dropping on December 15th, 2022 as cartridge number 7, it brought some of Irem's most iconic coin-up titles straight into players' hands. This cart leans hard into the authentic arcade feel, no compromises, no stripped-down versions, just pure quarter-munching action. From genre-defining shooters like R-Type and In the Hunt, to early legends like Moon Patrol, it is packed with the kind of tough, pixel-perfect gameplay that made Irem famous in the first place. What really makes this one stand out though is just how brutally tough these games are. Irem didn't just want your quarters back in the day, they wanted your dignity too, and from R-Type's screen-filling laser traps to Moon Patrol's crater-filled trolling, this card is a masterclass in old-school difficulty. But that's the charm, right? These are the kind of games that make you sweat, swear, and then immediately hit restart because you know you can do better. It's arcade history at its most unforgiving, and now you can relive it all without needing a bottomless pocket of coins. Now, I spent $33.51 for this cart, but we can't say that because this has 6 games on it. And today, we're only reviewing Moon Patrol. So for the purpose of this review, we need to say that I spent $5.60. So to get my $10 per hour equivalent ratio, I'll need to play and complete Moon Patrol in longer than 34 minutes. And I can successfully say I achieved that, completing the game in 1 hour and 36 minutes, meaning my $10 per hour equivalent ratio is $3.54 per hour, which is a bargain in my books. I had a play count of 2, a load count of 33, and a save count of 11. Let's take a look at the story. In the distant future of 2084, humanity has done the unthinkable. We've moved to the moon. But instead of sipping space lattes and watching Earth rise in peace, someone has to keep the lunar streets safe. And that someone is you. The brave driver of the moon buggy, the galaxy's least ergonomic police car. Your beat? Sector 9. And let's be honest, Sector 9 is less quiet neighborhood and more absolute death trap. Craters open up like the moon's got dental problems, boulders tumble out of nowhere like it's the world's worst mini golf course, and enemy forces leave landmines everywhere because apparently Lunar HOA rules don't exist. Oh, and just to make your shift more exciting, alien UFOs. Yep, they swoop in constantly, blasting away like they've got nothing better to do. Apparently the moon didn't get the memo that it was supposed to be boring.
We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive.
That's basically the entire story. You're a space cop in a buggy trying to survive an endless gauntlet of obstacles whilst the moon itself and a bunch of UFOs conspire to ruin your day. It's simple, it's absurd, and it's perfect arcade logic. Who needs a grand narrative when the real tale is jump the hole, shoot the rock, and don't you dare die? The beauty of Moon Patrol is in that simplicity. No tragic backstories, no complicated politics, just you, your buggy, and a lunar landscape that clearly hates vehicles, and it's the kind of story where you don't ask why, you just grip the controls, hit that jump button, and hope you don't flip the moon buggy for the 15th time in front of your friends. And for the odd sock score on the story, I give Moon Patrol a 4 out of 10. And honestly, that feels about right. It's got the bare bones of a plot, and by bare bones, I mean you're a space cop in a buggy trying not to die on the moon, and that's about it. No deep lore, no dramatic cutscenes, not even a previously on Moon Patrol intro. Just jump the hole, dodge the rock, and shoot the UFO. Giant tick. But here's the thing, this was 1982, and back then the story wasn't the main course. It was the garnish on the side of your pixelated steak dinner. And in that sense, Moon Patrol's plot does its job. It gives you just enough context to feel like you're on an important mission and not just some poor soul who took a wrong turn in a lunar parking lot. And the funny part is, that little scrap of story was all I needed to enjoy the game. The moon is under attack, I've got a buggy with a cannon strapped to the roof, and apparently I'm the only cop on shift. That's good enough for me. Do I need to know why UFOs are obsessed with bombing craters in my path? Not really. Do I care why the moon is basically a giant obstacle course? Also, nope. All I know is that it makes for a great arcade shooter. So yeah, I give the story a 4 out of 10, but somehow to me it works. Moon Patrol proves that sometimes the bare bones are enough, as long as those bones come with big explosions, ridiculous jumps, and the occasional UFO buzzing your head like it's trying to photobomb your Lunar Patrol report. Let's take a look at the sound. The sound of Moon Patrol is actually kind of legendary. It was one of the first arcade games to feature a continuous background soundtrack, and not just beeps and bops sprinkled between explosions. The music was composed by Ichiro Tagaji, and honestly the man deserves a medal for making something so catchy out of a few notes. Picture it, you're cruising along the moon's surface, dodging craters and UFO bombs, and in the background, this jaunty little tune is looping endlessly. It's upbeat, almost like it's cheering you on. Go on, little buggy, you can do it. Don't explode this time. It's funny too because the music doesn't match the chaos on screen at all. UFOs are dive bombing you, the ground is splitting apart, and rocks are trying to kill you, and the soundtrack sounds like it belongs in a parade on Sesame Street. It's the audio equivalent of someone whistling a happy tune while your house is on fire. But that's what makes it so memorable. Moon Patrol wasn't trying to scare you with ominous sounds. It was distracting you with cheerful music while gleefully throwing impossible challenges in your face. It was arcade sadism, but with a smile. And credit where it's due, those pew-pew sound effects and satisfying explosions had real crunch. So for 1982, this was cutting-edge audio design. It wasn't just noise, it was arcade personality. In short, Moon Patrol sound doesn't just keep you entertained, it kept you sane. Without that cheerful little ditty bouncing in the background, this game would feel like torture. But with it, you almost forget the moon is the most dangerous place in the galaxy. So for the odd sock score on the sound, I give Moon Patrol a 6 out of 10. And honestly, I had to give it extra points just because of when it was made. This is 1982, people. This was the golden age of arcade ingenuity, with a few beeps and bops that could make your heart race and your fingers twitch with excitement. The composer crafted these tunes so perfectly that they match the game's simple yet intense lunar action. Every jump over a crater or a blast at a UFO comes with its own little audio cue that makes you feel like you're starring in a mini sci-fi adventure. Sure, by today's standards, the music is repetitive and stripped back, but back then, each note packed a punch. It's playful, it's energetic, and has that unmistakable retro charm that instantly transports you back to neon-lit arcades, sticky floors, and all. You can practically imagine yourself bobbing along to the soundtrack while trying not to crash into a crater or get zapped by a Martian. Basically, it's audio that turns simple gameplay into a full-on lunar thrill ride. The genius of Moon Patrol's sound is that it's so simple yet it's so effective. No orchestras, no epic choirs, just pure arcade brilliance, and honestly, for a game that's almost 40 years old, it still manages to make you grin with the synths kick in during a perfectly timed jump. In short, it's a soundtrack that knows its job. Keep you moving, keep you alert, and keep you grooving, long before anyone else had Spotify on the moon. Let's take a look at the gameplay. The gameplay of Moon Patrol is deceptively simple, but don't let that fool you. It's basically a lunar boot camp for your reflexes. You're riding a moon buggy across jagged craters, dodging alien obstacles, and shooting everything that moves, all while trying not to become space dust. 2 maps guide your patrol. The first is the warm-up map, which gives you a false sense of confidence, and the second is the Welcome to the Moon Apocalypse map, where every crater, every mine, and every UFO seem personally offended by your existence. It's a game where the design screams, "Look how easy this is," while the difficulty yells back, "Psych, you're doomed, buddy." The obstacles are painstakingly placed to test every jump, every shot, and every tiny twitch of your little fingers. One mistimed jump, one missed mine, and your buggy takes a nosedive into a crater. And just when you think you've survived the worst, the aliens and UFOs swoop in like magpies. Surprise! Did you really think you were safe on the moon? And the checkpoints? Forget about making them on time most of the time. But here's the thing, I can proudly say I've patrolled every single square inch of that pixelated moon. The craters, I've jumped them. The mines, may have exploded them. Alien walkers, vaporized. UFOs, I've blasted them into oblivion. And the lunar rocks squashed all under my tires. I felt like the universe's least appreciated janitor, cleaning up extraterrestrial messes while screaming into the void. And that's the charm of Moon Patrol. It's straightforward enough to understand in seconds, but brutally hard enough to keep you yelling at the arcade machine or your TV for hours at a time. It's the kind of game where you can't help but laugh at your repeated failures while simultaneously plotting your revenge against every blasted alien that crosses your path. Simple design, punishing challenge, and a moon full of chaos. What more could a space janitor, Moon Patroller, really want? So for the odd sock score on the gameplay, I give Moon Patrol a 6 out of 10. This is arcade gaming in its purest, most deceptively innocent form. The controls simple, the objective simple, the story, well, let's just say NASA wasn't consulted. But here's the beauty, you drop a coin in, you grab the joystick, you hit start, and within seconds, you feel like you were born to patrol moons. No lengthy tutorial, no wall of text, no press X to crouch. You're just there, bouncing your little buggy over craters and blasting rocks like you've been training for this moment your whole life. And then The game smirks, because that's when the difficulty curve kicks in. At first, you're like, oh, this is cute, a little rock, a little crater, a little UFO. And then 10 seconds later, it's why is the sky raining death? And who put this many craters on the moon? Suddenly, your trusted buggy feels like it's got the suspension of a shopping trolley, and every jump is either majestic glory or catastrophic explosion. There's no middle ground. And let's talk about those two maps, the beginner course and the champion course. Beginner sounds friendly, right? Wrong. It's basically the game's way of saying, welcome rookie, enjoy your false sense of security. Champion course, that's where the game pulls off its mask and reveals its true ugly identity. A coin-hungry monster designed to ruin your weekend. Rocks, mines, UFOs, tanks, it's like every enemy in the galaxy got the same memo. Meet at the moon, bring snacks, and also kill the patrol guy. It's one of those games that tricks you into thinking you're a pro in the first minute and then spends the next 30 proving you're actually just moon dust waiting to happen. And yet somehow you keep coming back for more, because even when Moon Patrol is flattening you, there's something undeniably addictive about it.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Huh? Zappuccino.
Overall, I'd give Moon Patrol a 5 out of 10. It's fun, it's frantic, and it has that dangerous little arcade charm where you tell yourself, I'll just get to the next checkpoint and then I'm done. Spoiler alert, you're lying to yourself. Moon Patrol is like a bag of chips. You say you'll have one and suddenly you finish the whole thing. Except here, you've blown up your buggy 50 times along the way. The game keeps it super simple. Drive, jump, shoot. Easy, right? Until you realize that simplicity is a trap. The moment you start feeling cocky, the moon throws a giant crater in your way. A UFO drops a bomb the size of a fridge and suddenly you're airborne in a way your buggy was never meant to be. It's like the moon itself is trolling you. Oh, you thought this checkpoint was going to be easy? Here, have some exploding rocks, champ. And don't even get me started on those checkpoints. They're less progressive markers and more like evil dangling carrots. You'll swear, just one more checkpoint and I'll quit. Then you'll miss it by half a second and suddenly you're convinced you need to patrol every square inch of lunar soil like some underpaid astronaut on overtime. Forget NASA, by the time you're done, you've mapped out the whole moon more thoroughly than Google Earth. It's a game where the aliens aren't your real enemy, it's your own stubbornness. You know, you should quit. But Moon Patrol has this arcade voodoo that just keeps dragging you back. It's not the deepest game in the galaxy, but it nails that mix of frustration and fun that makes you keep pressing start, even as your buggy explodes for the 100th time. So yeah, a 5 out of 10. It's fun, it's silly, and just hard enough to trick you into thinking I'll do better next time. But really, the only thing you'll master is how to land perfectly in every single crater the game throws at you. Thank you so much for watching another deep dive Evercade completion review. Please remember to give me a like, subscribe, and comment down below. And if you're feeling the love, hit that little share button, because let's get the word out and let me try and hit my goal of getting 200 subs before Christmas 2025. Until next time, guys, stay odd, stay awesome, and we'll see you on another episode of The Odd Socks. See you guys.